Shabbat Shalom and welcome to all of Tree Community Spokane. The following recording is from this week's teaching on the Parasha or portion from the Torah. You can find more details on this Parasha and the scripture being referred to in the pull-down menu below. Now let's join our teacher as he shares his insights from the scriptures.
Shabbat Shalom, all of Tree Community.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, I'm Wade O'Connor. I'll be doing the Parsha. Lecha. The repetition there, it's actually like go, get going. Seems, Abraham was commanded to leave the land of his fathers, which of course they apparently were all idol worshipers, and there was a little hesitation. I was thinking this morning as I was reading Romans 3:23 says, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." And I don't know about you, but I have my own expectations of myself that I fall short of very often, and then I look at God's expectations, and I'm like, I can't even live up to my own expectations, never mind God's, and I'm exceedingly grateful for God's grace and Yeshua's shed blood, but this particular portion has always been an encouragement to me, because I see where Abraham, we come into this portion, he's already, I believe, 75 years old, and a few short chapters, it covers 25 years of his life. And Abraham lived in some pretty incredible times. When you think about it, he is not that far removed from the flood, God's judgment of the earth, familiar with the whole story of Babel, may have even known people who experienced that, most likely, given the ages that people live. It was an incredible time, and yet people obviously had been separated from their knowledge of God, and the reasons clearly for his destruction of the earth. But here we have Abraham being told what to do, and he does it. We just recited the Shema, the whole idea of hear and do, which is so critical. Joe had mentioned the whole 501c3 thing, and the idea that churches shouldn't be political. Well, I would agree with that, actually, in the sense that when churches tell their congregations exactly how they should vote, you shouldn't be doing it. What we should be doing is standing for truth. That's all we have to do, is speak truth. Continually. And we teach our children what truth is. And of course, truth is that they're created by a loving God, right? Who has a plan and a purpose for them, and has redeemed them through the shed blood of Yeshua. We teach them these things, and they understand why we shouldn't do all these other things that we see our government doing. So it wouldn't be necessary to tell them how to vote. They would understand how they should vote. But the encouragement of the story of Abraham for me is always that, he gets it wrong. There's times when he gets it wrong. But the thing that he got right is in chapter 15, verse 6, where it says that then he believed Adonai and he reckoned it to him as righteousness. I see that the believing God is critical. I know a lot of people who claim to believe in God. Things get tough, right? They have some tragedies in their life, and boom, they're almost destroyed by it. That is not what God desires. What I see when I look at the story of Abraham is he believed in God. Even when things got tough, when you read how he went and saved his nephew Lot, the first part of that chapter talks about these kings that came down, right? And they defeated all these other peoples, right? All of these groups. And then they came down and defeated the kings of the plain there, right? Those 5 kings. And then they took Lot and all these people and went back up north. And Abraham, with 300 of his trained men, went up and defeated those kings. You can only do that if you believe God, right? Later, not in this portion, but of course we all know that Abraham takes his son Isaac up to sacrifice it because that's what God told him to do. That faith, that understanding that God is. I mean, we saw it in a couple of these songs today. His understanding is beyond ours. God is, and God has a plan. And I don't know what that plan looks like for me, even. I wish sometimes that I heard God like Abraham did. I mean, it seems like God spoke to Abraham. But I also know that I have felt the leading of God and have not listened to it. And those times stick in my mind, and I try not to let those defeat me, because I know that just like with Abraham, if I believe God and I take that next right step, I'm in his hands. He's got me. I don't need to worry about that. But we do need to believe in God. We need to speak truth, and we need to continually seek truth. I think over the course of my lifetime, the things that I learned in school that later, I have had numerous strongly held ideas and assumptions about things that turned out to be wrong, right? And that's always difficult, but it doesn't matter, because the only thing that matters in this world and in eternity is truth, right? And that relationship with God and Yeshua, understanding the necessity for accepting Yeshua as our Savior is the only truth that can save, right? And so that's critical, and what it's based on. So thank you. That's my message.
Thank you for joining Olive Tree Community Spokane for today's message. Join us for 24/7 Messianic music and teaching just like this on Messianic Joy Radio. Go to live365.com or download the app Live365 and search for Messianic Joy. Shalom from Olive Tree Community Spokane.